Banksy is famous. He's world famous. And he's also unknown. People know his work, but they don't know who he is. He's got a hotel in Israel. Actually, it's in Bethlehem, directly next to the wall that separates Palestine and Israel. And he has decorated it with his work. It's eclectic, it's interesting, and it is a statement. It is activism through art. And art, whether prose, film, music or visual art, has always been a way in which some creators have tried to promote their ideas of what the world should be. Activism, another portmanteau, is a recent term used to describe the way in which art can be used specifically, actually it was Artivism, can be used specifically for the purposes of activism. It seeks to change the way people think by appealing to those who view, listen to, watch or read it. Perhaps the most famous contemporary artivist is the mysterious Banksy. Very little is known about this English-based street artist, as he shied away from the media, but his distinctive works have appeared all around the world, and his first works appeared in Bristol. One of Banksy's most famous pieces of work is a stencil print of a man aggressively throwing a Molotov cocktail, but instead of a bomb, he's holding a bunch of flowers. By substituting a weapon with a bunch of flowers, that's called juxtaposition, Banksy is advocating peace instead of war. But he's also criticising some media portrayals of protesters as violent or dangerous. The flower thrower is a good example of the sardonic wit Banksy adopts in many of his works. In 2015, Banksy created his biggest project to date, Dismaland. In this obvious parody of Disneyland, Banksy, along with 50 other artists, created what he called a bemusement park and a family theme park unsuitable for children on the site of a disused aquatic centre. The advertising for Dismaland prompted people to attend by asking, "Are you looking for an alternative to the soulless, sugar-coated banality of the average family day out, or just somewhere cheaper? Then this is the place for you, a chaotic new world where you can escape from mindless escapism." You can see Dismaland there. But not everyone is a fan of Banksy. The article below criticises Banksy for the lack of substance in the message he's trying to get across in Dismaland. Why Banksy's Dismaland isn't all it's cracked up to be, by Greg Foley, 2nd of September 2015. Great art, particularly political art, whether it's in a gallery, an alleyway or a protest, should be challenging and unsettling. It should penetrate beyond its immediate audience and make people think. So much of the overall feel of Dismaland was that of being spoon-fed political commentary on such a level that it was quite easy to cheer right on if you got it and disregard otherwise. It's difficult to call an artwork truly catalysing or engaging when some idiot from the valley is disregarding some of its core messages while espousing the genius of its proponents. Now the language there is actually quite complex. Catalysing. A catalyst is something that changes something else but remains unchanged itself. So, it's interesting to see the response that he's had there. You also have music as artivism, and we'll talk about that in a second. You will have time on this PowerPoint to see a short video about Banksy and his work. Music as artivism. Music can also be a form of artivism. In fact, it's probably the most popular form, and was so long before the word artivism was ever invented. Many songs have been written to provoke change and to make the world a better place. Throughout history, songs have rallied supporters to causes. The French national anthem, La Marseillaise, was written to energize revolutionaries during the Revolution. In the 19th century, causes such as women's suffrage were supported by anthems and marching songs, while the social changes of the mid-20th century influenced and were influenced by a huge number of protest songs. In modern Australia, many people and many popular artists create and perform songs as a way of provoking change, such as AB Original, January 26, Mojo Juju, Native Tongue, and Missy Higgins, O Canada. So, you're going to complete these activities. 1. Suggest the reaction that Banksy is trying to achieve with Dismaland, and make sure that you answer in full sentences referring to the textual features and the language features that might occur. Explain the article writer's view on great artworks and compare and contrast this with his view on Banksy's works. Consider the way in which each of the following songs is attempting to position the audience. Identify the line in the song that best captures the essence of this positioning. So, for example, Born in the USA, Bruce Springsteen; Quiet, Milk; Kill 'Em With Kindness, Selena Gomez; Hurricane, Bob Dylan; O Canada, Missy Higgins; and Deep in the Suburbs by Kudzai Chirunga. However, instead of doing number 3 as it is, I'd like you to choose one of those, and I'd like you to find 2 Australian protest songs. You might want to look at Midnight Oil. You might want to look at any number of Australian artists and think about what they've got to say. Then finally, evaluate the potential for music as a means of activism and artivism. So you have a number of things to do, a lot of sentences to write and construct, a lot of analysis to undergo, and then a little bit of creation. So we'll talk soon.